happy Monday. We are back for another episode. And it's part 2 of Becky's episode.
Yeah. We hope you guys loved the episode last week. Well, we just know you will.
Yes.
Obviously, we're pre-filming this, so we haven't heard the feedback yet, but she was incredible. Her story is incredible. And if you thought part 1 was good, just wait till part 2.
Oh, I do feel like the second half was like...
She left us speechless, or at least for me, I felt bad a few times. I was like, I just need a minute to process what you just said.
I was mumbling over words when I'd be like, okay, so tell me how you know. And there was no words coming out.
I know. She was so good and so inspiring. And obviously, now that you guys know a little bit about their story, just keep them in your prayers and follow her journey on Instagram. We will, on our Instagram, we'll link her Instagram page because then you can follow along with her and Bronson and their whole family as they kind of walk this journey together.
Yeah. Because obviously when we filmed the episode, she talks about it in the episode that he's finishing his last treatment.
Yeah.
And so since then, once it goes out, he has finished his last treatment.
Yes.
And things have gone really well afterward. And right now I think they're just enjoying the Christmas season together.
Yeah.
So it's great. But definitely keep them in your prayers because honestly, we talk a lot about Becky, but Bronson is the star of the show.
Yeah.
He has walked this out, even him.
Yes.
That is something I do want to acknowledge. Like, I know we didn't interview him, but just from everything Becky shared is just like he walked this road out with such faith and strength and just like a fight inside of him. Yeah. And that was beautiful to hear Becky share on his behalf.
And I just love it too. I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like as somebody who's worked with kids for like 20 years, I always had this passion for kids and advocating for them. And I believe that kids are so special and they have maturity and they can experience things and they can actually teach us things.
Absolutely.
When often we're feeling like, you know, sometimes in society, kids are kind of put lower level and it's like the adults are the ones who are looked at as teachers and the ones who are a good example. But Bronson is an incredible kid. Yeah. I love how much she highlights what incredible kid is. And I just think, you know, when it's so easy to dog on kids or teens, like, oh, they're into this or that, or they just play video games all day, or, you know, there's a lot of negativity and hard comments directed towards young people. Yeah. But I love that this episode shines a light on a young man young boy who is so strong and so courageous and such an inspiration for anyone of all ages.
Yeah, absolutely. Just how he walked through this season, and his mom would just talk about like how he walked through with like, you know, no fear. Yeah. Just, they called him Bronson the Brave. And
I love that.
I just love it. And we don't want to give away too much because I feel like, I'm like, I don't even know what was in part 2 anymore.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, just what a kid, what an inspiration. And I mean, he's definitely learned his faith from his mother.
Yes.
And his father.
100%.
You know, and I just think it's such a beautiful thing to learn. So guys, part 2. Enjoy. We don't want to babble on.
No.
Because we have nothing to say, to be honest.
I know.
Like, I'm going to feel like this is like, blah.
I know. It's like, take it away, Becky. Teach us all the things.
Yes, honestly. But I do want to mention one more thing. Becky will talk about it at the end of this episode. She did I think it's a prayer journal, right? Or like
that's
prayer journal, right? Yes. Or devotional or something. And you can pick that up on Amazon. There's 3 different like front page covers, and we are going to link that for you guys so that you can have access to it, because I just think, man, we need to order this book from them and
so great,
and go into the new year just with my faith like deeper. Yeah, that's one thing that we learned from this episode. So guys, enjoy this episode and have a happy Monday.
Bye.
I know, I'm like, just even that saying, I'm just like, but to walk through that, I mean, and this is why I originally wrote you, because I was like, I don't know how you could walk through a season of like your kid having a cancer diagnosis and be so vocal online, just like even about your faith, but just finding the bright side and finding the sunny side amongst that. And I've grown up in the church my whole life. My mom's a 2-time cancer survivor, as faith-filled as you can be. And I still feel like I would crumble. So I look at you like such an inspiration, because I'm like, I don't know how you're doing it. I like, truly. And like, just, like, what are some go-to things that you do, like, to get yourself to like be okay? I say that lightly. Okay.
You would be okay. You would be okay. You wouldn't crumble. And this is what I've said before, like when people are like, I can't imagine what it would be like don't try to imagine, because you actually also can't imagine God's provision. Like, because I remember watching the St. Jude's commercials and being like, before this ever happened with Bronson, and you're watching these kids and they're fundraising for cancer, and I would cry and be like, this is the worst. And we're walking through it and I'm like, but the Lord sustains. And like, I remember it was actually a little bit frustrating at the beginning, because people at church and like people who I'm like, you have solid faith, would be like, you know, it's okay if you're like mad at God, and it's okay if you fall apart, and it's okay. And yes, everyone processes things differently. But also I'm like, but if we are of the kingdom of God, like we should expect the things that God promises, which is peace that surpasses all understanding, and peace not as the world gives, but as I give. Like it's the peace that he gives us that separates us from the world. And like, I just think there's a general within, I don't know if this is too generalizing with the church, but like, we can't live in the world and expect godly promises. And I think if we're so focused on the world and everything like that, we won't experience the peace. And people don't expect you to. Like that's actually what separates us. It's not anything we do, but it's just like, okay, Lord, this is your promise. So, and I think to answer your question, like just staying in the Bible, like for the last few years, I have felt very convicted about just staying in the Bible. And I don't always walk away like, oh, that was amazing. And like, I learned so much. Like a lot of days I don't. Like a lot of days it's just putting in the reading. But on just the days that I need to hear something, I'll hear something. And those are the habits that I think I had already going into this. And it was just sustaining. I don't know any other way to say it than just like,
It literally is the peace that passes all understanding.
And
God's hand is definitely on it. And I know that like when you go through a situation, I mean, we obviously talk about a lot about divorce and on our podcast, because that's what we walked through. And those were two very different grief stages, you know, and I know that the Lord sustains, but it does, I think, because often with cancer, it is that fear, right? It's like you instantly hear cancer and you instantly like death, it just comes naturally, right? And I remember my mom walking through it and just being like, this is not a death sentence. Cancer does not have to be a death sentence. But I think we do need more faith-filled Christians to like walk through roads like this. And maybe that's why God allows it to happen, to be like, no, you can walk through this and you will walk through the valley of a shadow of death and you will fear no evil because I am with you wherever you go. And I say that and I'm still like, but there's just no way. I'm like, you are literally Superwoman.
I'm not.
I mean,
I appreciate that, but I just think like God is good.
And I feel like, I don't know what you think about this, but do you feel like, are you aware too that every day you have a choice, right? Like you can choose to trust God even when you're afraid and you're upset and you're so devastated, right? And we've talked a lot about this on the podcast on how you find the sunny side of things. It's not like it just happens. Like I think a lot of people think, well, you know, they're like that because that's just how they are. That's just their personality. And there's probably a little bit of truth to that if you're naturally more of like a hope-filled person, but also there's a choosing, right? To say, this is worse than the worst thing I ever thought I'd walk through. But I'm not going to be defeated. I'm not going to give in to fear and hopelessness. I'm going to choose to keep my eye on Jesus, to trust his faithfulness, and to choose joy in the midst of something that to everyone else, there should be no joy in it. Right?
Yeah. Totally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's going through his treatment. He's as sick as sick can be. And what was that like to like walk through as a mom to watch your kid, you know, be that sick? And what are they telling you at this point? Like, is this like a 6-month journey, a year journey? Is this going to be quick? Like, you know, 6 months, he's one and done. What does this look like? And I know you said you stayed at the Ronald McDonald House in some of this too. So share some of that as well.
So I don't think we were ever really given a full picture. So we kind of look back on it in 3 phases. Like phase 1 was our time at Sick Kids when he had the surgery. Phase 2 was when we went to Jacksonville for radiation and chemo. We didn't yet know what phase 3 was going to look like or if there would be one. Like we just didn't really know. And there is a challenge between like when you start here and go to Florida for treatment because you change teams completely. So we're no longer communicating with our Sick Kids team. We're all there. So they don't, and the Florida team doesn't give us any information on what's next.
Okay.
So that was a challenge because even communicating, what should we be hopeful for? What are outcomes going to be? There was some miscommunications there. But when we were in Florida, we were there for 8 weeks and like Bronson, like he was in a wheelchair or a walker, like he couldn't even walk. There was one day I was walking him in and he just passed out cold on the floor of the chemo clinic. Like it was awful. That was actually the worst. But the nurses were amazing. So we were just like, okay, we just have to get to the end of this. And then once we're at the end of this, we'll go back home and then we'll find out kind of what's next. I think they had kind of prepped us that there would be a chemo ongoing. We just didn't really know. We didn't know how long, and we didn't know if he would react the same as he was in Florida. Because I'm like, there's no way we can do 6 more months of this. Like he's
very sick.
Very sick. And then at the same time, you're trying to keep the other kids upbeat. So you're just like, one of us is in the hospital with Bronson. The other kids you're trying to like, play with and be present and not grumpy. But the Ronald McDonald House, like they covered our meals and they had kids' rooms. Like it was amazing being there. That was definitely a gift. So then when we came back, that's when we had our first scan since post-surgery. Okay. And it was very good. But they said he still needs more chemo. And so our question was like, well, if the scans are so good, like why do we have to put him through more chemo? And so basically it was explained to us that this type of cancer, because there's so many different types that are so different, previously had been treated with just surgery and they could get every single ounce of it and it would always come back. So they added chemo to the protocol and it reduced it by like 20%. And then they added radiation, reduced it more. But then they said when they did the full treatment plan with additional chemo, it improved the chances even more of it not coming back. Okay. So that kind of also gave me a better picture of what we were dealing with. Because I'm like, if it can be completely gone and like still come back pretty much 100% of the time, then I was more willing to go. Because at a certain point, you're kind of like, we're doing this again. Like if the scans are so good and he is like so sick, why are we doing more of this? So that definitely helped us understand a little bit more that, it's a little bit more aggressive than we realized.
Right.
And how is his, like you said that his sort of outlook was pretty measured and mature. But when, I would imagine even for an adult, let alone a child, when you're actually vomiting and nauseous and passing out, like did he then experience a few ups and downs of really struggling to be like, this is hard and horrible and I need this to end, or he just took it?
He just like takes it, which is like, now amazing. He would have days every once in a while and I wanted to like, make sure he was talking through those days if he was feeling okay to do that. And yes, like I would say he definitely has a lesser tolerance for his brothers now. Like if they're getting really loud and crazy, he just kind of is like a little bit enough. But it's just him and me. He'll just lay there. Like he won't get upset. He doesn't get angry. Like he doesn't. He just he's just even. And in his head, he's like, okay, how much more do I have? Okay, only this many more rounds. Okay, only this many more rounds. So mentally, he knew at the beginning. I think my friend who was a nurse said, you can expect this to be about a year. So he was like, okay, I just have to get through the year. Like everything became these like little like, okay, I'm moving closer to the end of the year.
He's a very analytical kid.
Very.
Yes.
Very much.
Yeah. And I do think normally from everything I've heard with like cancer in general, they usually say it's about like a year process.
Yeah.
But a year for like me or you is long. I can't imagine it, for a kid.
Yeah.
But even that, I think God's grace, just the fact that you didn't have like an anxious kid.
Yes.
Walking through this.
And he wasn't like this is what's been amazing. Like he's not sour about things. Like even, so he played football every year. This year he couldn't play. And so the team made him like an honorary captain. So he got to go and like hold the flag each game, but he never was sad, like never complained. Like it really is a miracle. 'Cause
Wow.
I feel like he's a bit of an anomaly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, even I know that the slogan, and you put that on all your bracelets and stuff, is Bronson the Brave.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen and what I've like, you shared, like he really is a very brave kid.
Yes. Well, and what's funny about that is that we gave him that name years and years ago. So when he was like little, he was afraid of everything. I would say he was probably an anxious kid because we would go outside, the leaves on the trees would make him like freak out. Any kind of bug or anything, he would just cry. And so we started calling him Bronson the Brave. And we're like, no, buddy, like Jesus makes you brave. We're going to call you Bronson the Brave. And that was like when he was 2, and it stuck. We've given names to each of our kids and just to kind of like speak that life over them.
Yeah.
And now he's grown up into this kid who's like, we didn't know, obviously, that this would be what we'd be facing.
But he like literally fears nothing.
He doesn't fear it. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Okay, so you get home, you get back to Toronto.
Yeah.
And he's going to start another round of chemo.
So then we get another scan. Things are looking good. Yeah. So then they give us six more rounds. So which basically translates to 6 months. Okay. So each round is about 28 days. It's not chemo every day, which because we didn't every time we hit a new phase, we're like, we don't know what we're doing. Like we're very fresh in this. So each round he would get chemo day 1, 2, and 3, and then again on day 8, and then between days like 9 to 13 is when his numbers would get very low. And that's when we'd usually either he'd be admitted or he'd get a blood transfusion or something like that. So, and each round is different. So there's always threats of fevers, mouth sores, like all sorts of different things. And what's just cool, and this is probably another testimony to his attitude, but like, when he started this round, his weight was quite low coming off Florida. And they were saying he'll probably need like a feeding tube, which he really wanted to avoid. We did not want to have to go that route. And we were like feeding him. Now he was throwing up quite a bit even through the summer, but eating still and just wasn't putting it on. So we couldn't really figure out what was going on, but he was like mentally, I'm not getting a feeding tube. And so we were praying for this and we were like, you got to eat, buddy.
Yeah.
And so currently we are in round 6 and he has like, the chemo should have made him weaker and lesser. He has been getting stronger and gaining weight as the chemo rounds have been going.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy. Like, even the nurses, she's like, are you sure there's nothing? Like, are you feeling anything else? And he's like, no, I'm good. Like, so that's been wild to see him actually, like, progressing better.
Yeah, because with a lot of chemos, you actually are sicker the second round.
Oh, like, interesting.
Yeah, you're actually sicker the second round. And so that's wild that he's almost the opposite.
Yeah. Now,
because they call it stacked chemo. So once it stacks on top of it, it's like, because it stays in your system for like a while.
Yeah.
And so it's stacked. So that's why they say the second round is often worse because you've already got some of it in your system plus additional.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. So the only thing that I can think of that might have been a contributor is they said where his tumor is nausea inducing. So because that's where the radiation was going, that could have been triggering a lot of the nausea.
Oh, okay.
But like, I mean, he was throwing up all day, like every day. It was all the time. And with these rounds of chemo, I think he stopped throwing up around round 2.
Okay.
And so he hasn't been sick for, I mean, he does when he gets, there's certain treatments in the hospital he gets that does make him like a little bit sick, but not like ongoing nausea and things like that. And he did have mouth sores once and he had a fever once, but that was all at the beginning. And then he's just been getting like stronger.
Yeah. Wow.
It's so crazy.
Wow. And so right now treatments look like, I know he just is in his final round.
Yep.
Yeah. And so you're at Sick Kids, like do you leave and you're there for a few days? What does that look like?
Yes. So at the beginning of each round, we're at Sick Kids for 3 to 4 days. So that's when he gets his consecutive chemo. And then we come home and then on day 8 for his other chemo, we can just go locally to the clinic here. So we don't have to go back into the city, which is really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're with the last round, what does that look like? I mean, I know, like, does he go in and ring a bell? What does
I
this
don't even know.
Is this a thing?
Like, yeah.
And like what does that look like for the next, does he go for scans?
Yeah.
How does that look?
Well, it's kind of hard because his last chemo is on Thursday, so in 2 days from now. And I'd love for him to ring a bell, but it doesn't hit him for another week. Right. So I'm like, we're not really at that end point yet.
Yeah.
And he did ring the bell at the end of radiation, which was fun. But I think, so we're going to go and have a big like family dinner on Thursday night because he'll still be feeling good. Yeah. And then for about a week, he's going to feel like garbage. Yeah. So we're going to wait. And then after the end of this round, we'll do something fun. I don't know. Maybe we'll go back and ring the bell. But I'm like, I want it to be a triumphant ringing, not like, I'll see you next week for a blood effusion. Like, I want it to be like a victorious ringing. So, yeah.
Okay, this is maybe going into like sensitive territory. So obviously answer what you want. But I was just thinking and listening to you share and just wondering if there, especially, we're in front of your like beautiful tree, and is there, when you're going through this, is there a part of you that for birthdays, for holidays, is there an awareness, although you're so hope-filled and believing for healing for him, like we all are, is there an awareness that it sits heavy, that you just say like, it's so easy to take everything for granted until something like this happens, and then sort of like time in our mortality becomes, you just see it differently. Like, do you feel that heaviness of like, God willing, he will have more Christmases than you're even here to experience. But situations like this can rattle that thinking. Like, have you had those moments? Yeah. Where are you at with that mentally?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Even going into this summer, it was like, okay, how do we make this a great summer? Like, yes, we might, okay, full disclosure, my husband bought a Sea-Doo. I was like, normally I'd be like, do we really need a Sea-Doo? Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? I want this summer to be like, we don't know how many more summers we're going to have. Like, I don't want to be, and again, that's not to be financially irresponsible, but there are things where it does make me think a little differently in terms of like
making each moment matter.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm always aware of that. Like, you're always thinking about what could happen, what could not. Is this the last birthday? Is this the last Christmas? And I honestly don't give it time. I feel like the thoughts come, but you never know. Yeah. And we also like, what do you do that you're not doing now? Like, give him more stuff. Like, he doesn't need more stuff. So let's just keep these like family traditions and spending time together. I just think I probably cherish them more. And I will never let anyone make me feel bad about taking a million pictures.
Yes.
I'm like, I can be annoying, I understand, but I'm like, I want all the pictures. Yeah. And I do hug him longer. I do feel like when I hug him, I just kind of like take a mental stamp of like, this is how it feels.
Yeah.
And so little things like that.
I know that you, we talked about this a little bit off camera, but you had posted something about Halloween. Yes. And I kind of just want you to share that, because I think it was so powerful for me. I grew up, like I said, in a family that celebrating Halloween was off the table. Like, you went to the church for Hallelujah night, and I would sneak out the back door and trick or treat with my friends. Yep.
So rebellious.
Yeah, I was my poor mother. But I was not, and she even still hates that I let my kids go out now. But you had posted something, and I went on to share it with so many people, and it really did kind of shake me to my core a little bit. So just share that a little bit, because I just found it was a unique perspective.
Yes. So, and honestly, it had really just come to me as I was driving. Like, we're not huge fans of Halloween, but similarly, like, we did let the kids go trick-or-treating a couple years ago. And then the last couple years, we've just kind of been humming and hawing about it. Like, is this really what we want to participate in? And then this year, I just found myself driving around seeing graveyards and like all this death stuff. And I'm like, we are working so hard to keep death away. Like, why would we celebrate it? And so that's just the heart from which I shared. Like, I don't want it to come across judgy. You see lots of pictures of kids in their cute little costumes, and I get it. But predominantly it's a death and gory, gross day. And I'm like, I'm not interested in celebrating that right now.
Yeah. And that's why I think it was so beautiful about it. It wasn't meant to be a shot at anybody else for celebrating.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be like a comment. It was just literally like, this is my heart.
Yeah.
And I do think it hits you different. I think cancer is one of those things that it's so far off unless you've walked it.
Yeah.
So unless it's been like,
totally,
unless it's hit close to home, cancer is always that thing that's terrible. You never want it.
Yeah.
But like, unless you've walked it with somebody, you're just kind of like, oh, it's there.
Yeah. We had never, either of us had experience with cancer. Like, we have people in our family who have had cancer, but we've never been on the inside of that conversation or what treatments look like or anything like that.
Now with him, is it something that's like a genetic thing? Why do they think he got this? Is it just like no rhyme, no rhythm, like no reason?
Basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. They have no idea.
They have no idea.
That's insane. Now, do you feel like the Canadian system more than I would say the American system, and maybe we'll cut this, I don't know, whatever.
Just because you're a U.S. citizen,
I know.
so confident. Like,
Like,
there's no perfect system.
Yes. But like, how do you think between the two, how did they both handle it? And because I know that often Americans will be like, oh my gosh, you have free healthcare, but any Canadians know, but like we do. But we wait a year. Like when my mom got cancer the second time, they found the lump in October. She didn't get into the hospital till February.
Wow. What?
February.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like it was months and months. We're waiting. I'm like, dang it, we're going to go over the border. I'm going to pay for you to have an MRI at this point because this is ridiculous. So like, do you honestly feel like, I'm just curious, like what did that look like?
Now I can only assume.
Sure.
My assumption is if we were in the US, they would have scanned him a whole lot quicker. They told us multiple times it didn't matter if he had a scan quicker. It would have been the same process, but who knows? I will say it's so hard because we have a nurse team here who we adore.
Yeah.
So part of me is like, I don't want to like bad talk.
Sure.
Because they've been amazing. I will say in the US, it was a slower pace. So every appointment, they would sit and chat and like talk. And there was just this margin of time where you feel like you can actually like ask some questions and things. Whereas our experience in the hospitals here with the doctor team, and the doctor team at Sick Kids is tricky too because they rotate. So we've never had like one doctor. So we're always getting a new team. And I just feel like I never really have the questions I need to ask on the tip of my tongue. I just feel like communication hasn't been great.
Right.
Whereas having the team that we had in the US was really great. I do think they probably would have diagnosed him sooner if we were in the US. Like my sister's kids live there, or like my sister and her kids are there. And when they have a medical emergency, it's quick. It's so quick. Yeah. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Wow.
So
yeah, I do feel like there is a difference just when it's a for-profit institution, and in Canada we don't have for-profit institute. Well, it's debatable, but do you know what I'm saying? It's a government oversight. This is a very side, but when we were in Florida once, when my son was 5, he broke his collarbone. And when we took him to the local hospital, when we pulled up, the kids were like, what resort is this? Like the hospital was like lined with palm trees, so beautiful. I know. The doors open. It looks like a hotel resort lobby. The waiting area, we sat down and I thought, you're thinking Canadian. I'm like, okay, we're going to be here for hours. I just got out all these coloring books and sticker books. I just set them up and they called him in. I was like, wait, we've been here for 10 minutes. Totally. We were in, he was scanned. They saw the fracture. He was immediately like everything was just, it was just so different. Yes. So, I mean, I'm not dogging the Canadian system, but there is noticeable differences. Yeah. And I thought, okay, yes, we don't pay for our healthcare, but if you can pay, wow, the options that are available, right? So I could see if you have a child with something more serious, terminal, if there's any way that you can pay for better treatment or be eligible for a program, of course you're going to try it because it is different, you know?
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that's kind of where we're at right now in terms of like early detection scans. So my husband and I have been like, okay, if there are scans not available here, but in the States, like that's something we would pay for. So we're trying to figure out, but you can't really ask, you can't ask the question here because they won't advise if they don't have it here. So it's kind of a muddy, yeah. But we would go and pay for it because when your kid's life is on the line, like you'll do whatever.
Yeah, you mean if like something happened, like you would do it differently, like you just pay and get it the scan done?
Oh, I just mean now. Like, because
with him, like moving forward.
yes, yeah. Like if there's a better scan than we have here, but we would have to travel and pay for it.
You would
like
just pay for it.
We would do that.
Sure.
We need to figure out if there is one.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to find that out.
Yeah. I wonder if I would get over my fear of hospitals if I could go to one in the States lined with palm trees because I love palm trees so much.
Listen, his chemo clinic in Jacksonville overlooked the harbor and there was like dolphins in the water.
Stop.
It was so nice.
Honestly, maybe I'll talk to my therapist and say, what's that? When they exposure therapy. Maybe they'll send me for an exposure therapy clinic to a hospital in Florida and I'll get over my fear.
I feel like that's the last thing you need is you're already slightly hypochondriac. If you knew you could go to like a resort style hospital, every single ache or fever, they'd be like, admit me. I need to be admitted immediately. Because something's wrong. I'm dying.
The difference is you got to remember that I avoid all the appointments because I'm terrified. So,
but if you could be overlooking the dolphins in the harbor,
it's true.
You'd be like, hook me up, run every time.
It's true. Run everything, run coffee through my veins. I know that you shared that you stayed at the Ronald McDonald House, or maybe it was in Florida, where you met some families, and you're saying there's some interesting things that happened there. Do you remember?
Yes.
We were sharing it off camera, and I want you to be able to share it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, the Ronald McDonald House, I mean, is amazing. I round up now every time I get a coffee. So the house that we stayed in, all the Ronald McDonald houses are different. The one we stayed in had up to 50 rooms, so it was quite large. And there was a lot of families from Canada, which was interesting. Also getting the proton therapy. So that's also why I'm kind of like, why don't we have it ourselves? Because you can just add it all up, the amount of money that's being paid for all these families to come down. And you meet some really great families, but you also see kind of all the different outcomes. A lot of them were being treated for tumors and cancer-related tumors. And so some of the challenges, I was telling you that I had some really interesting conversations with some of the parents because they were there for the second time or the third time. And so while it's really great to get to know these families, there's also these little flashes of like, oh, is this going to be us? Like, because you don't really think beyond this 1 year of protocol, right? Like you kind of are like, okay, when this is done, we can move on. But then hearing from other families who are like, yeah, we were done for a year, we were done for 2 years, and then we're in it all over again. So that can be a challenge. And I did have some like faith conversations with some of the other families, or the moms specifically. And it's hard because even for me, I'm like, I know what you're going through, but I don't know exactly what you're going through. So I feel like only I can speak into so far. Like this isn't our second time. So that was interesting. And then there was a family with a little boy, exact same age as Bronson, who had the exact same surgery and had gotten that syndrome where you wake up and it can be reversible. It just can take months. But still visually seeing like what we were kind of preparing ourselves for was so hard. And he was same size as Bronson, but he was in a wheelchair and like just always so angry and like it was heartbreaking. But it also was like, Lord, thank you for sparing us from that because that is a reality for some people. And so those are the little silver linings. I feel like we've managed to avoid these things that could just have like crushed on a different level.
Because that too is something like that. It's like you're doing a life-saving surgery to prolong life, but then quality of life is so drastically affected. And even the person that you're saving comes out and they don't exist anymore. Like that
Yes.
would be
that one was
devastating.
That was scary.
That was awful.
Going back to the first day of when he was in surgery, that was the one that kept going on in my head of like, what if he wakes up different? What if he wakes up different? That would be really hard.
You've walked this road obviously for a year, almost coming up January will be a year, right? And I feel like you have a lot of positive outlook, obviously. Have there been any moments where you have truly like questioned God? Because I know that it's so easy to say, God, we trust you. We believe that you're sovereign. But when push comes to shove, it's easy to trust God when, there's money in your bank account and everyone's healthy and you're living like your picturesque, perfect life. But like, was there ever a moment where like you doubted God or that you were angry with God or that even you doubted his goodness? Or was it just like, no, I'm not even going there?
I think, okay, this is where I go back to like the importance of being in scripture and just having a regular prayer life, because I'm going to go back a little bit further. So when we came back from Florida, I was like devastated. And I kept asking the Lord, like, okay, can I just do something? Like, can I do something in ministry or like jump into something, a purpose, something. Just to like get my mind off of like all these changes. And I felt like he was constantly saying, no, just wait. No, just wait. And I would have coffee with friends and being like, I just want to do something. And I feel like God just keeps telling me to wait. Like there's something coming. I just don't know what it is. And so when this happened, it was like, oh, this is what it is. Like it didn't feel, it just felt aligned. Like I know it's awful and I don't think God intends kids to suffer. It just, from the very beginning, I felt like the Lord had prepared my heart for it. And so because
your season and your circumstance too.
100%. Like I didn't have to cancel commitments. Like I was fully available.
Wow.
And I think the Lord, even leaving Florida, to be honest, and releasing that, because I was like, I do not want to let go. This is like, so having let go of that, even put my heart in a posture of like, okay, Lord, I have to trust you. Because I haven't actually struggled with that.
Wow.
Not to say that other people shouldn't or don't. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, this is you.
I just feel
your
like
story.
I just feel like he's been with us every step.
Wow.
And to be honest, I don't even know that it's over.
Right.
Like I feel like, okay, Lord, prepare me if it's not. I would love for it to be.
Right.
But I also feel so sure of the will of God that I'm like, you've got us no matter what.
Sure.
And we're okay.
Right. Now, have you like, I mean, obviously you kind of said it earlier about like, being aware of it, like being like, could be the last Christmas or whatever. So even when you're saying like the will of God, like has that ever, where does your mind go with that? Because wow, I can't.
I know.
Mine couldn't go there. So I'm like, how do you even, and I'm like a faith-filled person, so I even feel like my faith is lacking sitting next to you. And because I'm just like, how does your mind just be like, Lord, and it's funny, my mom used to pray this actually over us when we were kids. She's like, Lord, if they don't grow up to follow Jesus, take them before the age of accountability.
Wow.
She'd pray that over us. And I'm like,
In front of you?
oh, like, well, I don't remember. But probably she would have laid hands on us and prayed it. But I'm like, I love Jesus. I feel like I'm pretty faith-filled, but I don't know if I could surrender my kids.
Yeah.
And it comes down to like, do we trust God or not? Do we believe that he's sovereign or not? And that's saying like, I love my kids, but Jesus loves them so much more.
Yeah.
But to truly, like what you just said there, to be like in God's will, like to truly surrender them into the hands of God. I mean.
Oh, he can do such a better job than we can though.
Like I shouldn't say that though. Wow.
Because we've seen it.
Yeah.
Like I actually think it's been faith building over this year because we've seen him do it.
Sorry, I'm making
No, I know you are.
Sorry, I thought I would have
together. And there's days where I need to remind myself of that.
Sure.
But the phrase like one day at a time, one day at a time, like not to fear what comes. I want to be prepared for what comes, but I don't want to fear it. And I feel like the Lord hasn't given me fear. So because again, the same thing, like we can anticipate things that are scary, but we'll never be able to anticipate how the peace of God alongside that. So I just
I'm in a sermon here.
No, it is amazing. It is. Well, and I was just going to ask you that, but I guess you're sort of answering when I was going to ask you, like knowing that I guess with all cancer, but knowing that there is a chance of reoccurrence. So it's like, of course you pray that this is the end, that this is the story you can tell for decades of like, this happened way back then and we never had to deal with it again. But do you feel like going forward, because there is that possibility, will there be sort of like even if it's like a dull looming of every 3 months, every time leading up to that scan, and like you just said, you don't want to live in fear. So I love that you're saying, because that would be a hard road, right? To how do you balance being in reality and just saying, this is the reality of the situation, as opposed to, but I'm not going to be afraid that we're on this like ticking time clock, right? Where we just, the rug's going to get pulled out of us and we don't know. How do you balance that? The reality of that, I guess, of the two tensions of those two things.
You just take it a day at a time.
Yeah.
Like one day at a time. Like if there's a day where I'm starting to feel anxious, okay, Lord, like help me not let my thoughts spiral. Like I'm not going to try and come to terms that this is never going to happen, because it could happen again. So I don't also want to be using like kind of empty mantras that don't actually mean anything. I want the Lord to sustain our whole family, because who knows what else can happen, right? Like,
My mom always says, she's like, Leah, like everyone can walk a road that seems picturesque, but at some point everyone is going to be handed something in their life.
Yeah.
And are you going to be ready or not?
100%.
And again, even as a child, she's equipped me in every area. This is why that's the craziest thing, that I do have so much fear. I remember her taking me to the altar as like a young kid. For the people that are not listening, altar, just like the front of the church for prayer, people that aren't maybe not Christians or don't grow up in the church, for prayer, and being like, you need to pray the spirit of fear out of this child of mine. And she used to sing, it was a song that's like, God's not giving me a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. So I definitely ran like a more fearful, like as a child, right? But even I'd leave the house every day for school, and she'd literally make us put on the armor of God.
Yeah.
Like physically put it on.
Yeah.
And so she looks at my
90s
brother.
mom right there.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. But she looks at my brother and I, like to this day, and she's like, I don't know who the two of you are. I did not raise anxious children. Like, what in the heck happened? I mean, my dad was sick a lot of our lives, and we were in and out of the hospital a ton. But, she'll always be like, you can't. So even just you saying that, being like, it's day by day. Like you can't live in that fear.
Yeah.
But like
it's on my
to walk it out. Oh, is it?
My sister gave that to me. It just says one day at a time.
Oh, I love that.
But honestly, that is, and it's the Lord's prayer.
Yeah.
Like, Lord, give me what I need for today, right?
Yeah.
It's daily provision.
Yeah. And so for anyone listening that has walked either the cancer road or is just listening, like what is like a piece of advice? I mean, I feel like you've given lots of pieces of advice here, but like what is something that you can give to them for, how to not just crumble in a when you're walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Yeah. Whatever that looks like. And then I want you to talk about your little prayer journal.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
I do.
Sure. Okay. Advice. That's tricky. I would say number one, don't do it alone. So I think everything shifted when we put that post on Facebook and asking people to pray for Bronson. And we've just had an enormous support network of people, and it's supernatural. It's not like just the amount of care and investment people have for him. I'm like, Lord, you've put him on people's hearts. Like you're going to use this for your glory, because you're setting this stage up exactly how you want it. So yes, number one, find some people, pray, let people pray for you. I know not everybody might feel like praying, or even if you don't believe in God or understand that God could still love you, let people pray for you, because I think we have seen prayer make a difference. It doesn't mean things won't be hard, but the peace of God that surpasses all understanding does cover you.
Yeah.
And I would say don't be like afraid to share your story. I think, you go back and forth. When you're on social media, it's like, are we sharing too much? Is this like, and you don't always have to, plaster things on social media. But I think if you are a believer, there's a significant faith building process that other people get to experience through your hardship.
Yeah.
And in Revelation, it says we overcome the enemy by the word of our testimony. And that's been a big part of why I've shared so much. I feel like it's more out of conviction to do the blogging and things like that, because I'm like, Lord, you need to get the glory. Like, we need to flip this story around so the enemy doesn't look like he's winning. Like, you are getting the glory. Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I feel like there's been so many great tidbits of information and things. And you do, like, you just illuminate peace off you. Like, there's like, I feel like
like your countenance,
yes,
testimony, even if you don't say anything,
just you do. You elude a peace that clearly surpasses all understanding. But yeah, tell us a little bit about this prayer journal that I have seen online, because I'm curious to know a little bit about it.
So I love to journal in the mornings. Like, every morning when I do my scripture, like, I journal. And there's lots of different Bible study books that you can get that are awesome. But I just wanted to make one that I really liked. So really it just started as a project for me. I'm like, I just want to put something together that is exactly how I like to study scripture every day. And I've been running a very small Instagram group, reading through the Bible in a year. I started doing it a couple years ago, and I've loved it. And so this past year, started in January, didn't know what was coming. And I've just been steadily reading through the Bible to finish it in a year. And so I wanted a tool that would kind of go along with that, like reading my Bible every day, having a space to pray and have everything in one spot. And because I'm in the hospital for hours and hours and hours, I had this margin that I'm like, Lord, I don't want to just waste all this time. And so I just, made a journal. Wow. And I love it because it's exactly what I want. So it's been really neat. I gave it a couple different covers for variety. I love it because it does help. There's like a Bible reading plan in it. There's like a 1 year and then also a couple 30-day plans if you don't want to like tackle the 1 year. Also, it keeps you off your phone because anytime you do a plan on your phone, it takes no time to start scrolling. And then you're like, oh, shoot. Yeah. So I just wanted everything in a place. And then I have a page for testimony for that same verse. I'm just like, Lord, help, to give that person space to write out what the Lord is doing in their life. And then, a group discussion page. Like, I'm like, it could just be a tool. Wow. Maybe someone else
could any viewers order? Is it on?
It's just on Amazon.
Okay. So maybe we will find a link and put it at the bottom, like where the show notes are or whatever. And then people can link to that.
Awesome.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're such an inspiration. And I feel like God is clearly already working through you. I mean, the fact that we're here, like coming across your page and seeing and feeling just compelled to sit down and have a conversation, because we feel that same way. That's sort of the whole idea of this podcast is just sharing people's stories. We believe there's so much power in people's stories, and just even to relate, knowing that you're not alone, even if someone's not having the same struggle as you. Yeah. It's so easy with social media and stuff to feel like everyone's life is perfect and you're alone. Yeah. And I think the enemy sometimes capitalizes on that to make you feel that way. But we're all walking a different path and different struggles. And to see, it's inspiring to see how somebody else is walking it and how God's working in their life. And then that gives hope to say that could be the same for me. And then you share your story and there's a domino effect of just hope and support, and we love that. So we're so thankful that you have shared so honestly and openly, and we know that people are going to be impacted for it. So we just appreciate it. And we will be following up with you, keeping up with you and Bronson in your journey, and just praying for you, joining the multitudes that are praying for Bronson. So
No, yeah, I just obviously want to thank you for sharing. I know when I reached out, I was like super tiptoey to be like, because you're still in the midst of it, but I knew that it was an okay ask given how online your presence was.
Yes.
You know, if you were more of like a private person, I heard through a friend of a friend, I would have never reached out down this avenue, but I just knew that like, we do believe in the power of testimony, and we believe in stories. And, you know, we have done a lot of stories, but this one is just, I think, remarkable in the sense that you're still in it.
Yeah.
Oftentimes I feel like our stories
there's
are
a happy ending necessarily. You're in the midst of.
You're still in it, and yet you're walking like literally with the sunny side. And so I just want to acknowledge that you are amazing.
Thanks, guys.
You're amazing.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know what to say to that.
No, I don't. But thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. We just want to, thank you and honor that. And we will definitely post the journal in the notes.
Yeah.
And that's great. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, guys. Bye.